Hello everyone, welcome to the Stoicism and Spirituality channel. In today's video, we're going to talk about something fundamental, true happiness. But contrary to what we often believe, it's not found in external things, achievements, or the approval of others. True happiness, according to the Stoics, is within us. Let's explore how this is possible and how we can apply it in our daily lives. The first thing we need to understand is that the Stoics, such as Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius, believed that happiness does not depend on what happens outside of us. In other words, happiness is not something you find in work, material possessions, or other people's opinions. They saw happiness as something that comes from an internal attitude, from how we choose to perceive and react to life situations. So, what does this mean in practice? Well, if happiness is inside you, it means it doesn't depend on external conditions. If something bad happens, you don't need to let yourself be consumed by frustration, anger, or sadness. Instead, you can choose your response, and that's what really makes the difference. Example, imagine you've been fired from your job. Your first reaction would be sadness, frustration, and maybe even fear. But instead of giving in to those feelings, Stoic philosophy suggests you reflect on what is under your control. You can choose to see this situation as an opportunity for growth and a fresh start, perhaps reinventing yourself professionally or even discovering new passions. Happiness doesn't depend on the job you lost, but on your ability to find meaning and opportunity, even in difficult situations. Another important point for the Stoics is that our happiness is often harmed by our expectations of what we should have or achieve. We live comparing our lives to others, and that makes us feel dissatisfied. The constant pursuit of more material goods, more status, more recognition, often creates an endless cycle of dissatisfaction. The Stoics teach us to appreciate what we have, to focus on the present, and not to depend on external validation to feel good. Example, you see a friend buying a new car, and you start to feel dissatisfied with your car, which may already be a few years old. You might even start thinking that you'll only be happy when you have something as good as your friend's car. But by adopting the Stoic mindset, you realize that true happiness isn't in having what others have, but in appreciating what you have now. Your car may not be new, but it's functional. It gets you where you need to go. And more importantly, it's enough. The Stoics also believe that inner peace is essential for happiness. True happiness isn't about not having problems, but about how we deal with them. They teach us to accept difficulties as part of life and not let them steal our peace of mind. When we learn to respond with wisdom and serenity, regardless of circumstances, we find a more lasting happiness. Example, you're facing a stressful situation, maybe a complicated family issue or a financial problem. What can you do to not let this consume your peace? The Stoics would say that instead of despairing or reacting with anxiety, you should focus on what you can control, your attitude and your actions. If the situation isn't something you can change at the moment, try to find a way to accept it without losing your serenity. This acceptance brings true inner peace, which is a constant source of happiness. Another key idea of the Stoics is emotional self-sufficiency. Happiness should not depend on external circumstances or the approval of others. Inner happiness comes from knowing that you are enough by yourself. This means that instead of constantly seeking validation or material possessions, you should cultivate your own inner peace and learn to find happiness in the small things in life. Example, maybe you feel that if you had a perfect relationship, more friends, or a more luxurious lifestyle, you'd be happier. But looking inward, you realize that your happiness doesn't depend on what others think or what you own. You start focusing on taking care of yourself, on meditating, on practicing gratitude, and most importantly, on accepting yourself as you are. Inner happiness comes from emotional self-sufficiency, and this makes you much stronger in the face of adversity. A great lesson from the Stoics is that true happiness is learning to live according to nature and what truly matters. It's not about acquiring external things, but about living with wisdom, virtue, and serenity. The Stoics teach us that by focusing on what we can control, our actions, our choices, and our reactions, we can achieve a happiness that is constant regardless of circumstances. Example: imagine you're facing a major challenge. It could be an important project at work or even a personal crisis. What's more important, the final result or how you handled the process? Stoic philosophy teaches us that by living virtuously and doing our best, happiness is found in how we react to each moment, not just in what we achieve in the end. To conclude, true happiness, according to the Stoics, does not come from external things or an ideal life. It comes from within us, from our ability to accept what we cannot change, to live according to nature, and to focus on what is truly essential. Happiness is about learning to be emotionally self-sufficient and living with serenity, no matter the external circumstances. I hope this video has helped you understand how true happiness, according to the Stoics, is an internal practice that depends on our choices and attitudes. If you liked this content, share it with someone who could also benefit from these ideas, and subscribe to the channel for more videos on philosophy and self-knowledge. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, share it with a friend who needs to hear this, and let me know in the comments, did this video help you? Subscribe to the channel for more content on philosophy and personal development. Don't forget to watch these other 2 videos and further enhance your knowledge.